Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings III, Legends of the Dead. So in today's episode we're going to be continuing this defensive war, should hopefully get it wrapped up and then maybe we can go back on the offensive, try and get some territory. We'll see if we can take advantage of the civil war that's happening among the Seljuks. Before we do continue this war though, I did want to address one thing, and that is regarding religion. So I've had some people who have stated they wanted me to go with Zoroastrianism. That's the old faith of Persia before Islam. I'm not entirely sure how you go about creating that. If you just got to create a whole new religion, you'd assume there'd be like a decision or something for that. Maybe after you created Persia. Not entirely sure because there's not. I looked in here and it doesn't exist currently. Let me sort this by name and scroll all the way down here. So yeah, I would assume there's like a decision or something you'd have to take in order to do it. But from my understanding, there was a lot of YouTubers who did just that when this expansion released back in November. So of course we're not talking about Legends of the Dead, we're talking about the Legacy of Persia DLC. And so a lot of YouTubers already did that on their channel. You know, us YouTubers really like that type of cliche stuff, you know, returning back to things of old, whether it's, you know, returning the Tsar or the Kaiser in Hoi 4. Or, you know, creating the Roman Empire again in any Paradox game. So that's often done on other channels, and I do that kind of stuff too. So it might be more unique to instead stay with Islam. But then there's the question of, should we stay as, you know, a Sunni, or should we convert to Shia Islam? At this point in time, the core of Shia Islam is over here. Oops, didn't mean to click on them that way. But it's over here in the Fatimid, Egypt area. So this is where their caliph is. This is our ally as well. And so they kind of form the core of the Shia faith as of right now. And many people did note that historically Persia or Iran did become Shia Muslim. And that's still the case today. The majority of the country is Shia. But it is important to note why that happens historically, and that was because of the Safavid dynasty. When they took over, they very much kind of force converted all of Iran, all of Persia. And so that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that dynasty, or, you know, we would assume that it wouldn't likely have happened. They come from a region actually very close of where we're from. They were based out of this province here, and eventually they built a new Persian Empire. Starting in the early 16th century. And so we're not really trying to replicate what these Safavids did. We're not them. We're a different dynasty. And so we could go Shia if we wanted to follow what happened with Persia, Iran, historically. But we could be Sunni as well. There's really no reason we have to do that. And just looking at the different tenets of the face here, they're very close. Just look at, you know, what they got here. Obviously they have, you know, two different tenets. So they're different in that sense. They share one. And just looking at what, if we were to go with this one, which I don't think is quite, I think they're called like the Twelvers. This is the branch that they have in Iran today. But I don't think that's in the game. I could be wrong. This is the main branch of Shia Islam, which from my understanding is different in several ways. Again, I'm not a Muslim historian, so I'm not going to try and explain all this, since I don't know. Somebody else more informed about this would have to explain it in the comments. But just as far as game turns go, these are the different tenets they have. And then everything else is almost the same. I don't think there's anything really different here outside of their view on witchcraft. It's shunned here, while for our faith it's criminal. But other than that, I think everything's exactly the same. So you have a few different tenets. I suppose there's also the holy sites. They do have different holy sites. Two different holy sites here, as you can see. So different bonuses that you get for those. But for the most part, they're pretty similar, just as far as game mechanics go. If we did change religions, we would have to convert all this territory again. So that's another thing to consider. So yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. A few people have voiced it. You know, again, some people want me to go with the Zoroastrianism. Some people want me to, you know, just go with a different branch of Islam. And I'm just curious if anybody would prefer that we just stay what we're at. We just stay Sunni Muslim. Because remember, the majority of this area is Sunni, so you don't have to convert that much territory. There's a little bit of territory you have to convert. But overall, it'd be much easier staying with this current religion. Well, let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments. And the last thing I wanted to address when it comes to religion is the Hajj. So every Muslim is required to do a pilgrimage to Mecca. That's part of the 5 pillars of Islam. And so technically, as a Muslim character, we should be doing the pilgrimage. We certainly, are in a position where we financially should be able to. If you financially can't do the Hajj, then I think it's acceptable to not do so, from my understanding of Islam. But you couldn't really make that argument for us. We could easily raise up enough money. It is kind of expensive doing these long trips in the game, but we certainly could raise the money, and our character hasn't gone yet. In fact, when you haven't gone, you get a penalty to your piety, a negative 25% here, since we haven't done the Hajj. The thing, though, and this is what I said in our previous series as a Muslim, is that technically, every character is supposed to do it. And these are long event chains. I try and do like different things with all my characters. We might have one character do a holy pilgrimage, while another character instead focuses on doing lots of grand tournaments, while another character goes back to college to improve their education trait or whatever it is. I try and differentiate between the different characters so that the gameplay doesn't get stale. And those event chains are long. There's a lot of events for them. The pilgrimage one. And so doing that with every single character, I don't know. Again, if you're role-playing, then you probably should do it. We're not role-playing, of course, but even if we were role-playing, does that make for the best gameplay? I don't know. But yeah, our character technically should be doing it soon. He's getting old. And so if you want to be a good Muslim, then you would need to do the Hajj. And he should have done it already, really, because he's getting kind of old for all that. And I think that's what you would, when you start thinking about it, as you get old. That's when you really start thinking about your faith, your religion, your tenets to them. Make sure you're going to get the outcome at the end of your life that you desire. So we did finish up this ranch here. And so now we get that patriarch. That gives you some very nice bonuses here with the fertility. Not that we need any more children, but the stress loss. And then you get all those opinion bonuses too. Not as beneficial as some of the other traits though. But I like a lot of the stuff that you get here. Like the extra skill points from having friends and stuff. And then the living children giving you extra skill points. That kind of gives you a reason to have lots of children. So now the question is, should we continue here and get the diplomat bonuses? Some of these would be useful. Particularly being able to propose one alliance without a marriage. Because we have 2 empires near us that are quite powerful. Byzantine Empire not quite as powerful as they used to be. But definitely both of these are still threats, and we can't really make alliances with them because we can't do the royal marriages because they're different faiths. And so it might be useful to be able to do that alliance. So that'd be an option, but we could also just go with a completely different lifestyle. Kind of old for doing all that. I don't know how far we'd even get through any of these. Of course, we'd go through them slower. There's some good stuff here. It's just, for me, the least exciting of the branches of diplomacy. But yeah, maybe we're just too old to do all that. So we're at 40-something days now. And unfortunately, our son Musa is not feeling well. He has consumption. Again, don't actually have the disease in our land, so I'm not entirely sure if you don't go anywhere how you get sick. It feels like those random events that were in the game before they had the new system of plagues or diseases spreading, that is still in place, which doesn't make a lot of sense in my opinion. We did improve opinion with our ally here. I think we're going to stop doing that. We just talked about having these problems on our borders. I'm going to try and create a friendship with him. Remember, we do have that action now. And, our character might die soon. But at least the opinion bonus would still apply. And the more friends we get, the more skill points we get. So that's another reason to do it. So these 2 characters can marry our son with her. This is one of our allies. This is where we created the alliance through this marriage. But we can't actually do it at this moment because he's imprisoned. Not entirely sure who jailed him. Okay, so up here, she never released him. So we need to get him out. I guess we'd want to pay for that. Let's go and pay the ransom. It's going to be 50 gold here. So let's go ahead and do that. We want to get him out. He's not our, primary heir or anything, but It's important, and looks like we might have also lost some stress there because of our traits. Yeah, I saw we were losing a little bit of stress. So now we can go ahead and send off this proposal, make that happen. All right, excellent. All right, so he is sieging one of our territories here. It's going to take him 4 months to complete it, so we will be done with our own siege before then. And we got an event here, the Despised Wolf of Derbent. Is this yeah, this is just a B-side event, so we'll say interesting. Almost done with the siege, and then I suppose we'll go over there and attack him. If we don't already win the war with just this siege. Probably not from the siege alone, but if he captured... Well, we didn't capture any big key, so we're only at 55% currently. So these guys are technically hostile to us, but not part of the war, so we do have to try and avoid them. And you can see that they did combine their forces here now, so we're looking at a much larger army, but we have our allies, so I think we'll be okay. We don't want to cross the river and attack that way. Although, you know what? We're actually not going to get any penalties because that's right, it's our territory, so it doesn't matter. So we'll go ahead and attack them with the assistance of our allies. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Musa died from consumption. Alright, rest in peace. That again puts us in the critical stress level. Characters just dealing with it. No parent should ever outlive their children. Now we can meditate in seclusion, try and lose stress, gain traits, or increase our learning skill. So that would be an option. We're not leading our own troops, not really doing anything with our character at the moment. Maybe we should do this. Maybe this is a good option. So embarking on an inner journey through meditation is no trivial thing. Many preparations will need to be made, the least of which is deciding where I shall retreat to. The location I choose to meditate in will heavily influence the outcome of my journey. I feel like it fits our character here in his older age. He would do something like that with such a long and accomplished life. He definitely has had an accomplished life. Look at how much we've extended our territory in his lifetime. So we could say the comfort of my own castle. And this does give us those penalties for the 6 months. This is a safe and easy place to meditate in. Instead we could say under the great blue skies of Bedzini. That's one of our baronies. It's also a safe and easy place, but we're more likely to gain personal insights at this location. We could instead go to the remote mountains, a much more difficult and dangerous place, but we are more likely to stress there and also get the personal insights. Okay. We don't really want to die at this moment. I think we're going out the mountains, but under the great blue skies, we'll go with that option. And so we'll go ahead and travel over there, though it does look like it's going to be quite the traveling. Good God. Yeah, that's really far. How far is the other one? Let me just take a look. Oh, did that cancel it? Okay, so we got to do it again. Let me just take a look and see where this location is. It's also kind of far. It's 4-month travel. Maybe we'll just do it in the safety and comfort of our own castle for the moment. Yeah, let's just do a little bit of meditation, just to deal with our emotions, our stress. I don't even know if we'll actually lose any stress, but we'll see. Alright, so we would, as of right now, lose the battle. So we might want to wait to attack here. Kind of curious why that is, considering the fact we do have good troop numbers here. They do have a very good army commander. They're taking off like they feel they would lose. What's interesting? You would lose decisively. Huh. Yeah, they have 5,000. We've got... That doesn't seem right. Yeah, we have significantly more troops. 8,000 something troops. Our commander's not bad. We get the defending bonuses, more men and arms counters. Oh, it's still registering more soldiers. Maybe it's not registering our allies coming here yet. That's what it is. Normally it does, so kind of strange. Anyways, we should get them engaged before they can take off, at least one of the armies. And that faction is disbanded as well. That was a populist faction. Now maybe one of the armies gets away. Nope, they both got engaged. So we'll be able to get them defeated, and I don't know if that'll be enough. We already have 39% for the battle, so probably not. Oh, what's going on here? So this is involving another one of our sons. He died. in battle. Well, it's always the risk when you have your sons as knights. That's a real shame. That was Azid. He did have a daughter, so she has inherited his titles over here. That's a real shame. Well, we can read this event. News from the wetlands of Mugan finally arrives at the hands of an exhausted messenger. I know immediately that something terrible has happened to my son. There amongst the dispatches it reads, our brave Vali Yazid was killed leading an attack against the Jabal Kusite armored footman. He was slain by this character here. That's his marshal. I don't know if we'd want revenge. Not like the most vengeful character. And, you know, he was killed in battle. Kind of things happen. We could not have saved him, but no parent should outlive their child. And we can say that he'll not get away with it. Seek him out for revenge. Maybe we did just lose 2 sons. Who knows what we'd do? Yeah, you know what? We're rivals now. Maybe we'll get lucky and capture him in the battle after we defeat them. So yeah, we just lost 2 children in such a short period of time. And we are incredibly stressed out now. And since we no longer have that marriage, we're also no longer allied with them. He still does have to assist us in this current conflict, but yeah, we lost alliance. And he was one of our tax collectors as well. So we need to appoint somebody else, and we actually have a whole bunch of characters here that are pretty good. Yeah, a lot of different choices, including our grandson. I never even thought of putting him as a tax collector. So, you know, let's go ahead and put him as the tax collector. In fact, I almost want to have him be our main tax collector, since, you know, he's a family member. That makes sense. Well, I guess the way we'd want to do it is move this character over to here, then put our grandson into the main position, and then you can also replace this guy because he's not great. I don't know if it's worth like irritating somebody though when you don't even have anybody in that. Doesn't make any sense to do that. So we'll leave it as is. Alright, so we should have them defeated here shortly, but again, that won't win us the war. Well, it did win us the war actually because we might have captured somebody. Is that what happened here? We didn't get any from capturing. Oh, yeah, we could get the full war score from this. We don't have to rely on taking territory. So I want to take a look at all the slain here. So this is who one of our knights killed. And of course we lost these 2 characters here. He was a decent knight. Alright, so it's kind of a costly battle here with the loss of our son and one of our other knights. But we did achieve victory. The war is now over. This is going to get us more legitimacy and prestige. And he's got to pay us a handsome amount of money, 480, not bad at all. And he's going to spend some of his own prestige here. Alright, so we need to expand our troops if we want to start any additional wars, which we do want to look at how the conflict is going over here now. It does look like this is about to be over. Okay, they can't get any more from battles, so they do have to get them from the sieges. But his troops have clearly been destroyed at this point, so we know that this is going to go back into the hands of the Abbasids. The Seljuks have lost with the assistance of the Seljuks, like the most powerful uncles here, and the ones who overthrew their own dynasty, as strange as that is, to replace them with another dynasty. I don't think that's the most realistic thing. They might operate against their uncle, or excuse me, against their nephew, but not to put another dynasty, the Abbasids, in power. I just don't see that being realistic when it's really about their own power. I think that's what they want. So if we started a war right now, then the Abbasids would inherit that war and we'd be fighting them and the combined strength of the whole empire. So obviously that'd be a bit of a problem here, guys, because I don't think we'd be able to win that with the 30,000 troops that he's got, and he'll have even more after he wins the war. And so yeah, this would be an issue, and it would be a defensive war for him too, giving him another advantage. So I really don't know if we could do it at the moment. Just take a look at what options we have. And maybe you could win it quickly, but probably not. You could just try and take a county, but it's really not worth the risk, I feel. You got to go after a duchy. And yeah, you can gain a lot of territory from this conflict. You'd want something on your borders here. Probably this one makes the most sense to get control of all that. Looks nicer as well. So yeah, you could do that. But yeah, obviously we are inferior to just what he has here. We also just lost an alliance. Yeah, I don't think it'd be wise considering the fact we know he's going to be losing this war very quickly. So you try and take advantage of this. I mean, maybe it lasts a little bit longer because they do have to do sieges, but so do we. So it's kind of risky. A very risky conflict overall once they inherit it. But if you lose it, you're not actually losing any territory. We are, of course, causing problems with this new character here. You know, he probably wouldn't have 30,000 because a lot of those troops are from these allies that he has in the war. And those would not be his allies in this war, not necessarily his vassals. Again, he'd probably have close to the 20,000 that the boy has. Maybe 30,000 though, because I think he had 30,000 before the rebellion. So yeah, probably around 30,000 troops. So I mean, the chance of winning is very, very small. We could get another spouse. We actually need another spouse. So could do another marriage to get another alliance. We could just take a look at what the options would be to try and pull in more troops into this conflict to give us a better chance of winning. Not a lot of options though, as far as like if you're looking at neighboring countries. This guy here's already in the conflict. Yeah, if you wanted a neighboring country, so make sure they get into the war in time. You know, they do have to be Muslim, of course. So that limits your options as well. Here's 3,400. They're not that far away. Got 3,600 here. So either one of them would work. Yeah, you could try pulling them into the conflict. I'll just take a look. Oh, he's too far to interact with. Yeah, we are pretty far away. That makes sense. So even though they're on the borders here, that would not work out. What about these guys here? Yeah, we could take a look and see if they've got any daughters. Okay, so it looks like we'd have to do one for one of the really young daughters, which is far too young for our character. So we'd probably want to do it with, just take a look like a son. Maybe somebody who doesn't have any territory. Oh man, he lost his eye. Okay. Yeah, you'd want it where somebody who doesn't have their own territory. Well, this would work because it would create the alliance. Apparently these are related. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure how they're related, but there's a chance of problems here, and she already has the club-footed. So more issues of being inbred. 0.6%. It's not very high, though. Gives you an alliance of 2,200. So it's better than the alliance that we lost. So certainly an option. Let me just take a look and see if there's any better options here. Well, you've got this character. He's got a similar number of troops here. Yeah, I think this might be a better option. Yeah, let's do that, guys. Let's see if he's even open to this marriage. And I'm picking him since he doesn't have a spouse. So yeah, let's go and set up this marriage, guys, to get another ally before we declare war. And we'll also, this gives a little more time, a few more days anyways, to see if the situation here progresses any faster. I mean, again, they can't do it from battles. They have to do sieges. So that takes time. I think we're going to risk it, because we don't know how long it's going to be before they're this weak again. And so this is a lot of territory we can gain. We got time to try and get all this conquered beforehand. As far as our allied strength versus theirs, you know, we are similar numbers now, and you know, we could even arrange an additional marriage if we wanted to just really bring in a ton of allies here. Again, I don't think he's a good ally because he's already in a war. Of course, doing all these alliances might result in us getting pulled into conflicts we're not interested in being involved in. And we could arrange this marriage too. Do keep in mind though, this all cost prestige to pull all these allies in, so, and we have a lot though. So I think it should be fine. Yeah, we can go ahead and do another marriage here, like you know, secondary spouse or something like that. Yeah, let's go and do that as well. And just really have a ton of alliances. for this conflict. And I do need to take a look at the prison because we got people dying in there. So with her, we can only release her for a hook because this character is broke because he just had to give us all that money. So we're just going to hold on to her for now. That's his spouse, so we'll just wait until he gets his money back. And yeah, let's go ahead and start this conflict. And hopefully we're able to win it. Yeah, so let's go and declare war after this duchy here. That does cost prestige just starting up the conflict. And then we're going to want to pull in as many allies as we can. And pull in them based off of their troop numbers. So we'll pull in the Caliph first. And then we'll pull in the 2300 from these new alliances here and the 2200 from this one. So we should have enough prestige hopefully to get them all pulled in. We're going to pull in that 1000 as well because we need as many troops as we can get. We won't pull in the 39 here. That's obviously not going to be that helpful. Alright, so I think we're good. We're not employing a wet nurse, so maybe we should do that. It's just a poor option currently, so you'd have to look for a wet nurse. We have all this money at the moment. But I think if we should do anything, it's probably build more troops. I know we just started this war up. But yeah, I think we should probably build more troops up. I think that's the best way to go. And so let's go ahead and raise up these light horsemen. Could also get another man-at-arms just to have one more slot available. As far as who we'd get, I want the heavy horsemen, but obviously we don't have the attack for that just yet. Let me take a look at what counters we need the most, just based on their own troops. So he has the horse archers, and he has the pikemen. Okay. Now what about his enemy? What do we want to counter here? So he does have the heavy infantry. He also has the spearmen, but I think we're countering just about everything that he's got here already. Because he doesn't have any cav that we need to counter with the spearmen, but I think that's what we'll get. Is go ahead and get some pikemen here. So let's hire a few of these, and then maybe put a bit more into the light horsemen as well, since we do have some nice bonuses for those. So that looks pretty good. We want to keep a good amount of money here, and then we'll be raising these up, but probably not. How do we want to do this? Let's wait to raise them up until the troop numbers get a little bit higher here. They can of course raise up in this territory. You're paying a bit more if you do that though. Let's first let everybody come into these wars as well, because you know it takes some time to get here. So we need all our allies to arrive. Although again, this character we're fighting, this boy, he's dealing with his own problems. So it's not like he's going to be able to just, you know, bring his troops over here to fight us. So just trying to bring up these troop numbers a little bit. Again, obviously that will happen in our territory. But at this, doing it this way, we're not paying for them, so we can continue to earn some money. That war was finished up over here. So it seems they have a new queen in Georgia. Oh, okay. Dimitri's dead. Oh, he killed himself. Okay. I see. So they actually won the war. It's just Dimitri's dead. Got it. So I'm just raising up these troop numbers here. And then we'll assist our allies. Oh, wait a minute. Does he now have power over here? That's what it looks like. There's a whole new name here. It's Persian Empire. And still under the Seljuks. Maybe I read the war wrong. I saw who the war leader was and was assuming it was for his claim. But maybe it was actually for his claim, which would then make a lot of sense why they were doing it. Okay, so it looks like that's what happened. The war's already over, so now you gotta fight all of them. His troop numbers are very low right now, but of course those are gonna be increased. Yeah, we no longer have that advantage. He's gonna pull in all these allies. Yeah, he's got a ton of allies. Still, those troop numbers aren't very high at the moment. Yeah, we could end it since they're no longer weak. And so you can't really take advantage. I mean, you can see he's already got 11,000 troops here. Yeah, maybe we should just end it. Okay, so yeah, the war just didn't last as long, and also didn't result in what I thought was happening. I thought a whole new dynasty was coming in power, and thus, if the Abbasids took over, then the Seljuk uncles of that boy would still probably operate against him. So I was going with the idea that there'd be more rebellions against him. I don't think they would accept the Abbasids. But what we ended up having here is, you know, it's one of those uncles that's in power. So yeah, I just don't think in this sense it doesn't make any sense to keep it going. Especially considering he seems to be a pretty good marshal. He's got a good number of troops. So this is no longer the best course of action. It ends inconclusively, never even raised our troops up, so it didn't work out that badly for us. Could have been worse. Tried to take advantage of opportunity. You know, we spent the money on the men-at-arms, which was good. We needed to do that anyways. We needed to build these troops up. So it's fine. It worked out all right for us, guys. All right, so we did lose some stress, but nowhere near enough. We improve our skill in meditation doing this, but yeah, that's not going to work out. So we need to do an activity, guys. I suppose we should do a funeral for our sons. Now, you can only do one funeral. And so I think the idea here is that you're like burying everybody at the same time. I think we should pick our elder son. And you can also do one for the old Sultan here. None of his children did one yet for him. That's interesting. I bet we're going to do one for our son. And, of course, our intent is to mourn here. Alright, so we're going to do, I think, a full extravagant ceremony in this case. You know, we've had 2 sons die and a friend. It's been a rough time for him. And we have a lot of stress to lose as well. We will need to travel over there, so we need a new caravan master. I don't know what happened to our old caravan master. We got a lot of excellent choices here, though. We'll go with this guy, even though he is a resentful lackey. Maybe we should go with an honorable lackey, though. Yeah, maybe that makes a bit more sense. Somebody honorable. Alright, so let's go ahead and start the funeral here. Just make sure there's nothing else I need to make adjustment to. No, we're good to go. So let's go and start that. And as far as the events, I'm probably not going to read through them all, guys, because that took a long time. I think it was like 8 or maybe 9 minutes of the video. It's kind of a lot. And given the fact we'll probably do a lot of funerals, unfortunately. This is a travel event, dual demanded. You have these all the time. And, you know, we're not going to... I mean, look at us. We're 64 years old. So, obviously, we're not going to do the fight ourselves. Makes no sense. I'm not going to trample them either. That's terrible. But, yeah, we'll do this option. And let's... There's only a 36% chance he'll be successful, but yeah, we'll let the caravan master fight it. And he got wounded. Okay, so unfortunate. And are we going back home? What happened to it? Oh, okay, doing it that way, mess it up. Okay, let's do it again. Did we get the money back? Okay, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Because his body's gone now, too. Did that just ruin it? So, yeah, very unfortunate. So, all we can do is hold a feast here. Because we got to do something for the stress loss, because obviously we're in a bad situation at the moment. We don't have to travel anywhere for this, at least. But, yeah, I wish I hadn't picked that option. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why, again, why I completely canceled it. That's generally not the case. Anyway, so we're doing recreation, trying to lose the stress. As far as like having an honored guest, we could have our son be the honored guest. You could also have the caravan master, I suppose. Yeah, I guess we'll honor our son here. He did just get injured. We just lost several sons. And since we can't do funerals, instead we're just going to honor one of them. So we could do the art pieces for more prestige. I think we're just going to do like a regular old feast here. Nothing too fancy. And just try and get some stress loss here, guys. We did become friends with this character. So he should hopefully not attack us now It doesn't help our son much. Again, he'll get a little bit of opinion boost with the son. But yeah, we can't ally with him until after we've gotten that perk. We got a claim on this county here. And did we finish the conversions? We'll have to take a look at that. It just says that they were enthusiastic about it, so might not have finished it. 12 months. I knew we were close. And we also increased the control. So let's go ahead and move it. Is this the only location we still need to do? Yeah, it's at 24, then I think everywhere else is good. All right, excellent. Of course, we do have other locations that we could increase control of. That is underneath our sons. So that would be an option. Oh yes, I never did hire a wet nurse. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have a little bit of money, a little spare money. And the choices are average, 80 for somebody average, or 40 for somebody poor. Choices, choices. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll just say we don't like any of them. I know we don't have that many young children of our own. We have our daughters, since our son just died. But there could be other young children in the court. And she became an architect. Okay. Doesn't help her much because she's not actually managing any territory of her own. And also, we might want to take a look at this plague, the Ruthenian pox. Alright, so we don't want to become a drunkard, but we also don't want to get more stress. As a Muslim, yeah, you definitely don't want to become a drunkard, so I guess we're going to have to take the stress. The whole purpose of this was to lose stress. That hasn't been the case, and now we're infirm. Okay, so our time is almost up here, guys. That's a terrible penalty to everything. But our health is poor, so I don't think we're going to be our character for that much longer. But let me just take a look at this disease that's coming in. Okay, so it's near our territory. It's in fact in several parts of our territory, but not close to our capital just yet. Can come in through ports and stuff, but I think we're okay. Looks like we had some twins. 2 daughters. This is our grandson. Okay. So I'm actually fine with this first name. Yeah, these are all fine. I guess that is the character that we're going to eventually become, isn't it? Just take a look. Is that his eldest? That is his eldest. Very impressive character as well, but by the time we become him, we're going to be pretty old. Because his father is already 46, so I think we'll be taking over as him very, very soon. We need the option here. I won't read all these for the feast events because we've seen pretty much all of them. But we need the option that's going to reduce the stress the most, so we're going to go with that one. Because God, we are stressed out. Alright, so that removes most of it. Again, all events we've seen many, many times. We'll go with this option. And he's mortified by our perverse humor. Look at our son getting down over here. That's great. He is the guest of honor, though. I'm glad he's enjoying it. And we learn of this character's child heritage secret. Learn some secrets. And we get a nice modifier to our health. Although I'm at this point ready for the character to die because he just got all those penalties. So we're ready for him actually to, to pass on to the next life. And after we finish this feast, maybe we'll have him go on the Hajj, and I would assume he would die on it. That's the closest he was able to get. So yeah, we're gonna do the toast to our son. And we gained a rival because we pranked we probably shouldn't have him be the caravan master anymore. Yeah, we pranked our caravan master. Lose a little bit of stress here. And we had the great banquets. And so we can get the eager reveler, which gives us increased intrigue, and that's what we're gonna do. And that feast is now finished. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look and see how much this is gonna cost us to try and go on the pilgrimage. You can see the average cost is $255. This is the Hajj that we want to do. And so that's going to be to Mecca. I assume we'd do reflection, though that character that I thought was our rival is not our caravan master. It's a different character. Who is that then? I'll have to take a look at who our rival is. But let's first go ahead and do this. So you see that the current cost is 191. These options here don't adjust the cost, they adjust your travel speed. So you can kind of rush, and we're about to die, so it might make sense to probably try and rush. So probably want to do that option just given the circumstance. And then this would determine how much we were paying. So if we wanted to do a more humble one, we could actually pay for it. But you bring no one from your court, making travel dangerous. We just join 7 random pilgrims. I think probably an appropriate one is what we want to do, which means we do have to raise a little bit more money. So 191, that won't take us that long to get. But I wanted to know exactly how much it was going to cost us. So now I want to take a look at who this rival is. Okay, see, somebody else's caravan master. I didn't see that. Okay, so it doesn't really matter that much. But he's the one who found out the child heritage secret about, apparently. Maybe. That could just be somebody else as well. Alright, so we have enough money now. And so let's go ahead and do this activity. Again, didn't take us long to get it. We're not gonna live that much longer, so we need to do this while we can. And then we'll go with all those same options. So try and go faster, get less piety, and then just go with the appropriate. We'll be able to pay for the ceremonial one, which I don't think that really fits us anyway. So as far as the time, it's going to be 18 months. We could try and speed this up a bit, which would probably make sense to hire the mercenary guards. There's only 20. It's going to speed it up by about a month or so, but it's also going to make it more safe. So we're going to do that. I think it's worth the 20, and we have just enough money. So let's go ahead and start our pilgrimage. So we hired that mercenary captain. And this is the Hajj. The time has come for me to undertake the pilgrimage to Mecca. It has been commanded of me, as it has for all Muslims, to show my submission to Allah. I have waited for this my entire life. You really have. You kind of waited till the last minute, didn't you, buddy? And then our son and heir will be taken over as the regent. And apparently I got our wife pregnant right before we left, or she came with us. Oh wow, she's 44. Still popping out kids, again, not impossible, happens. But surprising, nonetheless. We don't have any more titles for our sons. Let me just take a look and see what's happening with the succession, since we know that our characters are going to be dying soon. Because we might want to set up the territories that we're going to grant out so that we actually have a choice in the matter on who gets what. Because as of right now, that's interesting. Don't we have a son that doesn't have any territory? Well, he's got it. Well, I guess all of our sons have territory. Okay, so yeah, these two characters are going to inherit 2 of our titles here. And, I mean, this one I'm not really happy about losing, but it is probably the best one to lose. And that leaves us these 4 as the core. So I guess that is what it is, guys. It is unfortunate he's getting, or is it this one? This guy's getting more, because we already gave him some titles. Yeah, is what it is. We'll lose those territories. Remember, our son has a title, but he'll be able to hold a lot more too because he has the higher stewardship. We did get 200 martial lifestyle experience points. Here's the quietness of Andamish roadside. I feel an overwhelming sense of peace and tranquility wash over me, like none I've experienced before. Just beyond a small ridge, I see a clearing off the side of the path where neither man nor beast seems to have entered in decades. I can feel Allah's presence here. Perhaps I ought to linger here in quiet contemplation for a while. So we can say this is Allah's will. The pilgrimage becomes more pious. It's delayed by 10 days. We'll get some piety and lose more stress. Or we mustn't delay. I know we're in a kind of rush here with our age, but this is Allah's will. So we're going to go with that option. I no longer have any stress, because this is what we needed in life. Maybe all these stressful negative events in our lives, all these deaths, maybe that was Allah telling us that we needed to go on the Hajj. So passing through the Beylik of Ubula, we take the opportunity to visit the mosque, a Persian center of Ash'ari authority and worship. This man here, Abu Wahab, he's a water, local minor imam, and gives us a tour of the grounds and buildings. He relates the history and points out artworks produced by the local murshids who are now gathered in their midday prayers. So we can say, I will join in prayer to Allah, gain some piety. The pilgrimage becomes more pious. You can say, what a sorry excuse for a mosque, will gain some prestige, but also annoy him. Or say, yes, that's quite enough, thank you. But we're patient, so it actually makes sense that we're kind of taking our time here. I'm just worried about our character not making it to the end. Hey, maybe though. Even when you get this infirm and you have the poor health, sometimes you could live many, many years. So a matter of safety. I've had this nagging sensation for a while now. My pilgrimage has turned out to be more hazardous than I anticipated. Or maybe I simply haven't endured enough trials to prove myself worthy of God's protection just yet. I have, however, spotted a few impressive individuals in the local settlement of As Sumaina who would surely improve the safety of the pilgrimage in a hands-on manner. Alright, so we can hire this guy for 40 gold to join our court and our pilgrimage. And he is pretty good, so you can have him be one of your knights as well. He could serve as one of the knights of our son. He's an ugly guy, apparently. Or we say, no, I have faith in Allah. It becomes more pious, we'll lose some trust, and we'll get the divine protection. Which actually reduces your intrigue, but increases your diplomacy, and increases monthly piety. Let's go with this one. He seems a fine specimen. And we happen to have just that amount of money. It's burning a hole in our pocket, ready to spend it. Of travels to come. Okay, so this is a very common travel event. Nothing to really do with our pilgrimage. And so, we don't really have any money to pay him. We could have him join the entourage. He's a wise man. Yeah, maybe we'd do that. Yeah, sure, why not? Why don't you come with me? We'll bring everybody. We did get a diplomacy lifestyle perk. And our regent has furthered his mandate, which I didn't even take a look at what our mandate was. Okay, we still have to fill the coffers. I set that when we first started the series, but I wasn't sure if it was still set on that. So that got us the 80 gold. And he has changed the scales of power. It's an abuse of power, so it also caused some strife among his peers. Alright, so with the next perk, we're going to go for the thoughtful. Doesn't really help us much. Again, I kind of want to see if we can't get this one. I mean, all this doesn't really matter, since our character's likely to die soon. It's kind of strange. I mean, we are her lover. It's kind of strange that she got pregnant right as we were leaving. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's not strange. Maybe you had one last moment with your spouse. Or is she traveling with us? Oh, she's traveling with us. Okay, makes perfect sense then. So she was traveling pregnant? Wow. Okay, that's quite difficult and dangerous. But I suppose she had to do the Hajj as well. So I guess it makes sense. Alright, so did we already name a daughter after her? I feel like we did. Let me just make sure that that's the case. We did. Okay. Let's go with a good Persian name. Yeah, we'll go with Daria. Alright, so cutting corners and rushing the entourage, we have finally arrived in Mecca. Not wanting to dilly-dally, as soon as the sacred duties for our pilgrimage have been performed, the local servants notify me that our travel is prepared and ready for the return trip. The piousness achieved so far is quite low. We haven't even gotten to this level. Again, we were kind of rushing. We're already here and now we're leaving again. But we did get the pilgrim trait. So we're back on our way home. Though we actually didn't get it. Maybe it hasn't applied yet. Here we go. We got the Haji. There's just an increase in monthly piety, same faith opinion, travel speed and safety, so we should be able to get home faster. And also you're going to increase all the opinion with Muslims. So having rushed through our visit here, my main concern is getting back home so that I may continue my regular dealings. Hopefully God will understand that I press for time, because we're probably going to die soon, but that I may still receive his satisfaction in regards to my pilgrimage. My clergy should have no complaints at any rate. While interesting, I look forward to bunking in my own bed. So we do get some piety. We also get the trait display of submission. And we'll gain some legitimacy. Alright guys, so we finally returned home. I have decided to cut out all those travel events because we got a lot of them, and they were pretty much every travel event that is in the game. Like all the ones I've seen. I saw nothing that was new, and they were all the typical ones, like the Metal Man that you always see on every damn travel. But all of them, the picking of flowers, the one where he It meets a woman, you know, your caravan master meets a woman, or caravan master died on the trip too. Just all typical stuff. You know, where you got that person being attacked by a wild animal and you gotta go help them, like all the travel events. God, I hate those. Anyways, I'm just gonna cut them all out because it's all the same stuff, guys. But what you need to know here, first of all, is that we are home. We did get that next level of piety, so we're at Paragon of Virtue now. So very high. Our devotion is insane. We're almost to religious icon. I don't expect we'll get there. But yeah, that's a plus 10 opinion. So we got that. Also, you might have noticed we have that traveler trait now. So we got increased diplomacy and higher opinion with travelers. And then we might have gotten some modifiers throughout here. To show you what our current modifiers are at the moment. Yeah, we forgave the Desperate. I don't know if you guys recall that. Travel event, common one. Yeah, I got some nice modifiers here from the travel events, I suppose. But yeah, it's just kind of annoying. The same events all the time. When we're seeing those. Yeah, we are finally home. So the Regency has ended. And our rival died. Okay, so it's more stress relief. We didn't have any stress. Come back home, I'm actually feeling great. Feeling pretty good overall. We completed the hash, that's what matters. Alright, so this is that social manipulation event that we've seen 2 times now, so this is the 3rd time. This is the 3rd time we've seen it. So as far as which option we're going to go with, so we can guess that she's unassertive, lethargic, and unambitious. I mean, maybe, just based on these traits, so it's a possibility. You can guess that she's weak-minded or keeps to herself. Yeah, probably not on that one. Cowardly or wants to keep the peace. I mean, maybe because she's compassionate, but let's go with this one. The unassertive, lethargic, and unambitious. It looks like it worked out. So manipulator got the weak hook. I don't even really like doing these events here. We don't even need the weak hook. Just manipulating people for no damn reason. We do have that 1 man at arms that we haven't stationed yet. Okay, so we still need to do that. So that's these guys here. You know, what we might want to do is probably place them where we have these guys stationed. Or just put them in the worst position over here. So you can put these guys in a better position. Because yeah, I assume that one is better, which it is. Oh, these are actually equal here, so it wouldn't have mattered. Okay, so I'll put them over here. Just make sure we're getting those bonuses. Earning good money at the moment. Oh, also, the knight for this position died, and our marshal has now become the new knight, and thus he did lose one of the rankings. He's still level 2 though, so you're getting these bonuses here. It seems that his secondary trait has also changed. It's now Besieger, which I'm actually fine with. I like the Besieger one. Gives you some nice bonuses. So yeah, we're fine with that. As long as we're keeping that Tactician as the primary trait here, which of course that's always the case. That doesn't change, but yeah, let's look for a worthy successor. Because we don't have anybody we can appoint to that position. So I feel like we should do a war next. And you see that there is another... Oh, there's a dissolution war happening here. It looks like he's going to win it though. But that would be definitely be in our best interest. Ooh, that's interesting. He does not have that many soldiers. Maybe we should start our war now against him. And take over this territory here. Yeah, I think we should take advantage of this situation. He doesn't have that many troops either. So yeah, he's fighting this. He'll probably win it, but maybe he doesn't. And if we can help completely destroy their empire, we should. So we're going to try again going after this principality here. Calling in all of our allies. Well, I don't know if we'll have the prestige to call them in. We'll have to see. We'll call in as many as we can because we don't have quite the amount of prestige as we used to have. We do have more troop numbers when you count all of our allies. We're going to start this war. I don't know if our character will see the end of it. We'll just have to wait and see how long he actually lives. I'm always surprised. I expect a character to like die and then he lives for like 10 more years. Or we'll have a character that seems pretty healthy and then he'll just drop dead out of nowhere. Alright, so we've got this war started up, guys. So we're going to need to... I don't know where here it is. Our rally point is. So we need to start doing sieges. Let me just see where we want to attack first. So you got to take over all this here. And so we want probably go down this way. I mean, it's all kind of rough territory, so you're gonna have to deal with the penalties. I just think it might be better to start up here because you can kind of retreat a little bit easier. So yeah, this is the capital we're gonna want to attack. It's right there, and then we can come down and go after the rest of it. I think that's the best way for us to do that, guys. There's this territory here as well. I think that's all part of this duchy, so you could do this one. This one's maybe a little bit safer to start in while we wait for our allies to get here. Yeah, I suppose that's the way to do it. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So let's go ahead and bring the troops over here, raise them all up. Do we want the marshal in charge? Well, he is our best option at the moment. I mean, we could put our son in charge too, but if we want the sieges to go quickly, now our son's pretty good. Yeah, let's try and get these sieges done as quickly as possible. And so we'll attack here. We actually could avoid going above the supply limit. We just split off a few troops. You don't have to split off that much. Just take like one little batch of levies. I mean, you don't even have to do like a huge batch like that. You just do, I don't know, like 500 dudes. Put them over here on the side and then attack and do the siege. Just so we're not over the supply limit. And then you're not taking as much attrition as you would. Okay, so this is just good news that our rival's dead. I don't have any stress, but hey, that might have been our last rival, so... Well, yeah, that's our last one. There we go. I was gonna say, we still had one more. That's not the case, though. Got 3 friends, though. And of course, our wife is our lover. Alright, so working on this siege. I did not call in my allies, so should probably do that. I know they're distracted with their own conflict. You know, they're eventually going to come up here and start attacking us. So let's go and bring our allies in, going with the most powerful first. And then bringing in the rest here. And the last one. Excellent. So bring all of our rivals in, bring all our allies in. And hopefully you had enough prestige for all that, because I didn't actually add that all up. Looks like maybe just barely. Sitting at 108 right now. So yeah, they'll come and assist us to get this war done, and then we'll be increasing our territory at the expense of the so-called Persian Empire. They're not the real Persian Empire. Not even Persians. And unfortunately, we're not feeling well. Alright, I mean, we know our time is coming. We'll have to see if we can even finish this war, if this can still be left to our son. Oh, we're actually depressed. Really? After our Hajj went so well? Okay. That's the case. That's what happened. Alright, so this siege will be done in just a couple months. We did find a worthy successor. Is he? Is he really? He's 61 years old. Sure, whatever. Prowess of 9. Often your accolade knights do end up being kind of crappy, because you just got to put people who can fit that trait. Isn't this the old emperor down there of the Seljuks? Sultan, I should say. Is he the sultan again? Is he a sultan within the sultanate? It seems like it, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So he's still the sultan of the Seljuks. I see. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought he just lost everything, but yeah, he actually still has all this territory. I knew he lost like the imperial title there, but yeah, he's actually still very powerful and still a sultan. But he gets 75 prestige there. So we're gonna finish this siege, guys. That gets us at 25%, and then we'd be going after these next locations here. We might be able to do 2 sieges at once. They're so distracted with their conflict here that they're not able to do anything against us. Of course, we have our allies coming from way over here, and these allies will arrive here soon as well. I already have the 1300 from this ally, so yeah, I think we should be able to take this over. Maybe without even any battles, I don't know. Just because of them being distracted. But right now we outnumber him. He hasn't called any allies or anything like that. Maybe he doesn't have any. He has 1. 1,500 troops here. But yeah, even if he did come, I think we'd outnumber him when you count our troops and all of our allies' troops. And so yeah, we'll go ahead and get all this taken over, probably split them up into 2 different armies, and just get the rest of this conquered, and that might be enough. Because I'm not going to go all the way down to his capital here to try and win that way. That's too far. So we'll just conquer the territory we need to get the ticking war score, and then we'll defeat any armies that might come after us, and that should be enough. And then we'll get all this territory at the expense of the Seljuks, which I'm still going to call them that because they are the Seljuks. Alright, so I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. We hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.